Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I am talking about one of the most annoying bottlenecks in the game, and that is Miasma. So right now, certainly teal Miasma is a bottleneck for everyone, but no, I'm talking about orange Miasma, gear tier 13, 14, 15 Miasma. And it is needed by an unfortunately large number of characters. And let's make no mistake about this. This is a deliberate bottleneck created by Scopely to frustrate you, to make it so you can't get to where you need to be, and induce you to spend money. So I'm getting a lot of questions from players about what they should spend their limited supply of Miasma on. What should they be doing? So first of all, certainly, the best way, in my opinion, to get, the Miasma is you're looking in the store, you need to buy it whenever you see it. Now, for me, I'm at a point, as you can see, I already have 70 and I have my characters up, but I am refreshing the store for teal gear or other things, and I'm grabbing the stuff when I can. That's why I have so many, but you need to be doing the same thing. You need to store up and get the Miasma you can if you're in a spot in the game where that's an issue. I know newer players, this is not an issue for you. Some endgame players, it may not be, but for a lot of you, I know this is a problem. So what I want to walk through right now is which characters do you want to use your Miasma on, and which characters do you not want to use your Miasma on. So here's what I want to just say as a starting point, okay? Absolutely 100% starting point in the game. So if you just finished GD4, I get people who are like, I just finished GD4. I got some Miasma. Do I put it on Dr. Doom, who uses Miasma? Okay, certainly a powerful character. Do I put it on Adam Warlock? Also very powerful character. Do I put it on Cloak? Very, important character right now in the New Warriors, powerful character. Or Deathpool. Those are the characters that I hear get asked the most questions. And what I will say is this. If you are just getting into the Doom raid and you have a very limited supply of Miasma, your first choice obviously has to be Dr. Doom. Why? Because it is very difficult to run the tech nodes without him. Is it possible? Sure. In 1.0, I think it is possible to get by without Dr. Doom. You use Ultron instead, and you rely a lot on Kestrel, and you die a lot, and you'll use a lot of heals, and you get through it. It's not ideal. Let's just put it that way. Right now, tech is in Doom 2, and I'm in 2.3. It is the hardest part of the raid by far for me. I really only have 3 characters I can rely on, Kestrel, Doom, and to a lesser extent, Doc Ock. The others are all basically sacrificial lambs that I toss in there and they die, and I just keep cycling through those 4th and 5th characters, trying to keep characters like Doom alive. So I think he's pretty necessary for the tech nodes. And the beautiful thing about him is he also counts for the mystic nodes. So I just think the bang for the buck is there. So, if you have very limited amount of Miasma and you're trying to get into raiding the Doom raids, you got this guy for the tech nodes. You can use him in Mystic. Do you have to use him in Mystic now? No. If you have the New Warriors and Adam Warlock and Silver Surfer, you can use that team. But he's perfectly fine, even if you have everything unlocked. He's a perfectly reasonable choice as a 4th or 5th character. So he can make your tech or your Mystic team, but he's a core part of your tech team. And so for me, I think this is a no-brainer as the first choice. But let's just say either you've already got Doom done, or you're like, I got tech set. I've got a 7 red star Kestrel, and you figured out some way. You're only in Doom 1.0, and your Kestrel carries you. You don't want to bring up Doom. Although I do think this is the most logical first choice. So then the question is, do you want to do Adam Warlock, Deathpool, and so on, or Cloak? I guess my view really depends on. So this would be my starting question. Do you have both Cloak and Dagger at reasonable stars? I think these characters do okay at low stars, but I think the star level is something to consider here. In other words, I'm sure that there are free-to-play players out there that have Deathpool at 5 stars, let's say because she was an event campaign character, but they only have Cloak and Dagger maybe at 3 stars. Or they don't even have Dagger. And they're like, okay, I've just got Cloak. If you just have Cloak, I think it's easy. Just go with Deathpool next. That would be my advice. She's good standalone. Very strong character. If you have both Cloak and Dagger, and you have the gear to bring Dagger up to high gear, I think Cloak and Dagger as a duo are worth having. And I think Cloak enhances Dagger enough that if you have Dagger at a reasonable star level and for where you're rating, and you've got Cloak, and what I would say when you say, okay, Philosopher, what do you mean by reasonable star level? Here's what I mean. If you're somebody, because I get players of all different situations who are asking me questions. If you're in Doom 2.1 or 2.2, and you've got a 3-star Dagger and Cloak, they're probably not going to do that well. All right? If you're in 1.0, they will. In fact, I used a 4-star Cloak on his own in Doom 1.1, and he did fine. Now, occasionally he'd die, but you would, when he wasn't dead, he would kill everybody and put their debuffs and stuff. So it would put the debuffs all over. So to me, if you can get the duo together, then that's great. Otherwise, I'd go with Deathpool. Deathpool, I think, is a safe default choice because she's very strong. Her strong ability here is this out of turn damage, where she attacks the most injured enemy on enemy death. So I think, she's a good character to have up, and she works, even if you don't have Cloak and Dagger, she works with characters like Doom or Adam Warlock or other characters that you can have with Thanos, Maul, whatever you got in Mystic. Now, you might be saying, well, hold on, Philosopher. You forgot an important character, Kitty Pryde. And I hear you. Kitty Pryde is a reasonably important character. But I will just say this. When I went through Doom 1.1 many, many times with Kitty Pryde in gear tier 13. Okay? Was it ideal? No. But when she gets low in health, she goes into stealth. And so she can stay alive pretty well. And then when she gets low in health, Jubilee gives Beast speed bar and ability energy. So it's kind of like a mixed bag. Like having a small Kitty Pryde can actually be a good thing. So you could probably try and do 1.0 having your G12 Kitty Pryde, see how it goes. Putting high levels on her and not the gear. See how that goes. And if it doesn't work, you could just throw in another character. You could probably throw in Emma or something and be fine. I think that is a much more viable strategy in low-level Doom rating than trying to get through in the Mystic section with characters like Thanos, Maw, Hela. I have more on Hela in a second, Mordo, etc. I just think from my perspective, this team, there's more wiggle room as long as you have Bishop, Jubilee, and Beast as to what the other two members are. And there are a lot of people who use the Dad Bros, Longshot, and Chatterstar along with Bishop, Jubilee, and Beast in Doom 1.0 and 1.1. Now that brings us to Hela. And so you may say, well, wait, I love Hela. Hela's an important character. She's so vital to the game. Not so much anymore. I feel vindicated. I never brought her to Gear Tier 15. I kind of viewed her as a stopgap character till we got better options in Mystic. And she's a good character, don't get me wrong. But I don't really view her as a character that you should want to be invested in, certainly not over the characters we just talked about. So to me, this is a no-go zone. In other words, if you have so little miasma that you're making choices between Hela and any of the characters we mentioned, or Adam Warlock, and I'll get to Adam Warlock in a minute, then I just think Hela is a no upgrade. So we haven't talked about Adam Warlock yet, and here's what I'll say about Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock's a fantastic character. He is a very, very strong character in all aspects of the game. For some of you, you may be focused on Arena, and to you, having Adam Warlock up is itself reason to have him. And if that's the case, so be it. I personally think Kestrel can do just fine as the 5th member of Infinity Watch. And I'm not sure how long Infinity Watch is going to be the Arena meta anyway. And so I would be fine skipping him. If I was in your shoes and you were choosing between Adam Warlock versus Cloak and Deathpool and Doom and all that, I wouldn't be such a rush for Adam Warlock. What I would say is he's a very good Mystic choice, but I think from a rating perspective, he's less important than Deathpool, Cloak, and Doom. Certainly Doom to me is the most important given where the state of the tech section is right now. But Adam Warlock certainly a worthy character, and I would bring him up before Kitty Pryde. Okay, so that's why, to me, Kitty Pryde's very optional. Hela's a no-go zone. And then there are some other characters, of course, that take Miasma that are just, in particular, the one I have in mind is Ghost Rider, who's a nice character and all, but, I mean, that's a total no-go zone. I mean, he's, at this point, the worst character. I can't even find him on my list. He's the worst character that takes Miasma. So he's not worth the Miasma at this point. Useful war character, that's really all I would say. If you're really in a budget situation in Doom 1.0, you certainly can bring your Ghost Rider and Mordo with Hela and do okay-ish, but I wouldn't recommend it. Invest in these newer characters instead. All right, guys, I hope this helps you when you're dealing with the Miasma crunch. If you have any questions or comments, put them below or go to my Discord. That's linked below. And please like and subscribe to this video and check out my Twitch stream as well. That is linked below too.